today with the team telling us that Shedeur suffered an oblique injury early on in throwing drills. And I'm not sure what you know and what you don't know. But it looks now like you're probably going to get the start on Saturday.
Yep.
And so can you just talk about the opportunity that presents for you?
I have no clue what's going to happen. I'm just right where my feet are. But time will tell. And we'll see what happens. But that's up to the coaches. And, you know, we got a lot of time up to that point.
Dylan Gabriel didn't want to look at his face. He didn't want to talk about Shedeur Sanders in his press conference. Quite the eventful day, was it 13, 14 of Browns training camp. And this was a joint practice, obviously, with defending champions, the Eagles. And the biggest story of the day was that Shedeur was held out and got no reps, not no first team reps, but no reps. And even my man Riz was not happy.
Is, quote, on track. So what I'm guessing here is coach will look at him these next 2 days and then make a decision on Saturday. But you heard Grossi ask him if Pickett and Dylan can't go, would Shedeur start again? Yes, he would. But if I know Dylan Gabriel, I know him a little, you know, he's a competitive kid, and he's going to want to play. So barring another setback or injury, and who knows, but it looks like Dylan is on track and will work today.
So they said Riz wasn't happy. It seemed like Riz wasn't really overreacting that much. But there were a lot of people, as you see. Everybody was like 2 days after receiving his most reps in practice. Shedeur was the only Browns quarterback who didn't take any reps in team drills. I've been shooting the Browns a lot of bail. Almost an hour of practice, no team reps. They gave him the most reps Wednesday so they could XYZ. Like there was people were cooking. I mean, you had non-biased Browns fans. This was similar to the whole injury situation, the shoulder injury situation, where they didn't let us know. And obviously, we found out that he did in fact have an oblique injury. Sorry, I'm up here, but he did have an oblique injury. Now, what does this mean? We haven't heard anything from him. We do have some interviews from Dylan Gabriel because he was asked. Now, Mary Kay and Tony Grossi were doing the regular thing, asking some wild questions, but here is the immediate reaction, both to two things. One, the sloppy practice that they had. If I can show you I know I've already showed you the quarterback tracker, but Flacco 6 for 13. Obviously, Sanders didn't get the throw. Gabriel 6 for 19. Now, you did have 2 touchdowns, so impressive that on 6 of your passes you got 2 touchdowns, but 6 of 19, dog. That's tough. Huntley 3 for 4. I mean, he's just getting here damn reps. You know what I'm saying? He just, hey, what else we got left of him? So here's the immediate reaction to the injury, and then also the sloppy first team reps as well.
We did get word. Our Browns analyst Tony Grossi, who is live in Philly, saying that the Browns say Shedeur was held out with an oblique injury suffered early in practice. I was a little guilty of it, scratching my head, freaking out that Tyler Huntley was getting reps over Shedeur Sanders, but then we quickly realized, wait a second. Both Riz and I came to the realization, hold on. He has to be hurt. We said maybe some arm soreness again, like he had a week or so ago. Oblique injury. We're waiting on any more information on how long that he could be held out, but that's what we have for now.
So, what we're left with right now is, like I said, I'm recording this literally. This came out 12:14. I'm recording this at like 12:20. So, things are still coming out. I think Dylan Gabriel did a good job answering some questions, but all in all, very sloppy day in totality. And I think a lot of people can say, as much as we hate to see Shedeur get hurt and we want to see more information, I'm hoping, maybe I'm being a little too optimistic. I'm hoping it's the same situation where, he's held for a little bit, maybe a practice, maybe this week, and then he's back in action because, he was coming out. I mean, shout out to Devo, right? We're gonna get into this video, but I mean, this was him, pregame, right? And we can't really tell how hurt he is or whatnot. And he also shouted out the people, the clips. Oh my goodness. There you go. If you want to see, gotta get the critics right. But yeah, so this was him warming up. He's seemingly, looking good. Look, I mean, normal thing, getting plenty of throws in, XYZ. You feel me? But it seems like when it came to be team time, Shedeur was already hurt. So again, you can't get much from somebody working out. But I would hope to think that for 2 reasons, right? He was pulled before even anything happened, right? And I do want to point out that both of these times, specifically for Shedeur, I don't think, somebody can correct me, I don't think any other team has got pulled from practice and sidelined from practice while an injury happened or, supposed reported injury, I would like to put my thinking cap on and look at that. But hey, at the end of the day, I guess we're just, chalking it up to, he's just reporting these injuries and the Browns are just immediately pulling him out. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to think Shedeur Sanders reported that and asked to sit out. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to think that he came up early, tried to get early work in, and now his oblique is hurting to the point that he can't get reps. But let's take a listen to this because I'm hoping, by the news that we have, we'll react to it. But I think it's important to react to Dillon Gabriel because he's going to be the presumed starter, right? There's a lot of pressure on him now after what Shedeur's done. And then now you talk about the fact that it seems like Shedeur might not, I don't know what this team is going to do and how they're going to handle it, might not be available for Saturday's preseason game. Let's hear it. Just a little bit.
Sure, it was good work. Was it a little sloppy offensively?
Say that again?
Was it a little sloppy offensively from Browns today? Did you think?
Yeah, I think always there's things you'll take away from practice that you want to clean up.
There go Tony
Get
doing
better
his
from.
thing again, man.
That's with everything. Any practice, game, walkthroughs. There's good, there's bad, and there's things that you want to improve on.
So, Dylan, there's been obviously a new development today with the team telling us that Shedeur suffered an oblique injury early on in throwing drills. And I'm not sure what you know and what you don't know. But it looks now like you're probably going to get the start on Saturday.
Yep.
And so can you just talk about the opportunity that presents for you?
I have no clue what's going to happen. I'm just right where my feet are, but time will tell, and we'll see what happens. But that's up to the coaches, and we got a lot of time up to that point.
Come on, man. Now, you know me. I'm a fair guy, okay? So when I see Dillon Gabriel getting asked about teammates, and again, I want to point this out. I don't know any other. This is not me. I'm not like copping a plea for Shedeur. What I'm saying is y'all got on here and said he's a media problem. It seems like the media is the problem. Dillon Gabriel didn't want to look at his face. He didn't want to talk about Shedeur Sanders in his press conference, presumably about to start his first NFL preseason game. The second question asked was Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur, blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah, and then, the opportunity. So I want to point that out first, but then, Dillon Gabriel. Now, I'm messing with Dillon Gabriel. Y'all know me. Y'all been watching my videos. If you've been watching my videos. So not only do I like Dillon Gabriel as a player, I think he's a fun player. I love college football. I like Oregon players. I like he can get it done, right? I think he's a good player. But I think that some Shedeur people, not me, have made it like a Shedeur versus Dillon Gabriel. Now, is it competitive-wise? Yes. Technically, competitive-wise, it is. But when you talk about like teammate-wise, I just don't think that they believe that. I don't believe that. And I think Dillon Gabriel is a good dude. And here is another example. If I'm going to highlight what Shedeur Sanders does great, I need to highlight what Dillon Gabriel does great because the Cleveland media, Tony Grossi and Mary Kay especially, known for their leading questions, known for asking crazy. Y'all saw what they tried to ask Shedeur about all his dad's health and all that stuff before it was even in the development, before anything was even announced. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, Tony Grossi hits Dillon Gabriel with the classic, hey, y'all look like crap out there, huh? Now, I will give Tony credit again. 6 for 13, 5 for 6 for Pickett, 6 for 19. Did get two tutters. I mean, it seemed like the offense was a bit sloppy, right? I think even Tony Grossi said that, right?
Very sloppy day so far for the offense.
Wait,
at least
Tony
5
Grossi.
drop
That's who's
passes,
asking the question.
At least 2 penalty flags. These are in the
5
team
drop
periods.
passes.
Right.
Whereas defensively, we've been able to sneak a glance over there. Myles Garrett has been living in the backfield against the number 1 offensive line for the Eagles. That's par for the course. Also, kind of a big little day for Greg Newsome isn't participating, but Miles Harden is the guy now opposite Denzel Ward. He's got an interception in one-on-ones and a pass breakup on the second play of team.
Nice.
So number 26 having a good start.
Defense flying around. So I just realized I was like, I can't reference Tony Grossi after Tony Grossi said it's sloppy. But anyway, he's known to do that, so I think it's interesting. But really, shout out to Dylan Gabriel for he answered the question the way it needed to be answered. Hey, I don't know nothing about that, dog. Not only do I not know, I don't even know if I'm starting. Like, hey, Dylan Gabriel knows what to do. Let's see a little more. If you do get the start.
Are you looking to show you've been out for a little bit with your own hamstring?
Yep.
How frustrating has that been, and what are you looking to show if you do get out there?
Yeah, no frustration, just things that you got to get better from, and things that you got to attack. There's times where you're trying to get better and things don't go your way in that way, but it's just daily work to try and get back. And I try to just stay in the moment. I'll look forward to that moment once it comes and be right where my feet are. But, I've known the best competitors have be present and be themselves by competing at a high level, just one play at a time. So we'll see.
100% now?
We'll know here soon.
Have you ever dealt with a hamstring injury or another soft tissue injury like when you were in college or anything?
Yeah, occasionally. I think when you're competing for a long time, there's times within, the college periods, whether it's training or whatever it may be, where you have some time away and then you get right back. So it's just working through that process.
Just based on how you felt out there today, do you feel like if Kevin says, hey, we want to throw you out there to start this game, do you feel physically like you'll be up for that?
I don't know if I can answer that question, but I will say I do feel better from day one, and it's just been a good progression.
Shout out to Dylan Gabriel. Go watch the full interview. We're not going to watch the full thing here. But I think he did a good job answering those questions, addressing the injury, X, Y, Z, speaking about it as hey, and if you watch the full thing, there's going to be, I think it's another reporter that's like, so about the frustration period, I'm not frustrated. Like they're putting things. So I want it to be known, I'm not just on the Cleveland media side because I'm a Shedeur guy. I'm on the Cleveland media's ass. So stop asking Dylan Gabriel leading questions. Stop trying to get him in this intra-competitive thing where a guy, his teammate, just got apparently an oblique injury. Like, I don't know how that's crispy. I don't know how that's cool. I don't know what's happening. So, but regardless, this does most likely mean, if we can be honest with ourselves, that Dylan Gabriel is going to at least get some sort of burn. So I think we have to look at what that means, right? What does Dylan Gabriel mean? So update from LeBron, Shedeur Sanders injures his oblique early throwing in practice, and they had already announced that Dylan Gabriel is a good bet to start again the Eagles on Saturday. And this is his first time having, I guess, a serious injury. Again, we don't know how serious it is at this point, but I do want to speak about it, right? Dylan Gabriel, and again, this isn't an anti-Dylan Gabriel. This is more of a Browns thing. If we can look at him in a vacuum, something the Browns media can't do, let's take Shedeur Sanders out of the equation and look at Dylan Gabriel. It's been, I think, some of the most mixed reporting ever, right? You got people there who reportedly say that he's had bad days and terrible days and X, Y, Z. Obviously, this most recent day apparently was one of his better days, right? 3 tutters, I believe, on the day. You feel me? So it's hard for me to hear that. And then at the same time, we hear about the sloppiness. And at the same time, we hear about the picks, or see the picks, rather, right? At the same time, we see him getting the most reps consistently. Yeah, the last time or the day 12 was the first time Shedeur got the most reps in general. Still didn't get any first team reps. So at what point do we have to sit and look at this and put, oh wow, that could have been it. That could have been it. Come on, Gage, that could have been a crazy catch. At what point do we put some pressure on Dylan, right? As much as I'm a pro Dylan guy, I hope everything goes great. I hope he's a baller too. There does need to be some pressure on Dylan. Like I talked about in my other videos, Doug, we haven't seen anything from him. So, people want to hoot and holler about Shedeur's injury, which they might if he misses some time. I do want to point out, even if he misses the rest of this week, isn't that less time that Gabriel missed? Gabriel's been out for like a week and a half. Kenny Pickett's been out for like 3 weeks, even though he's still throwing, right? And then just to end it, I think the conversation does need to be asked as to why it's only Shedeur that seemingly gets pulled. And I'm not saying he's the only player, but the only quarterback. I felt all the other quarterbacks, injuries get diagnosed. They're there. Hey, they're going to be limited X, Y, Z. And I think another thing is, like, I don't know. Again, I gotta wait for. I'm actually gonna pause it before I outro and double check if there's any news before I end this video. If not, I'll make another video. But you know, it makes me think like what's really going on. So let me check this and then we'll close that 1 second. So I don't think we have any relevant updates. But what I will tell you is, you know what I'm saying, it seems like, you know, Jalen Hurts and Shedeur had a little talk, talk, right? And, you know, I don't know the severity of the injury, right? Clearly he's standing. I mean, I don't really mean he's not injured. I don't really mean it's nothing serious. What's it called? Here he is seemingly during practice, right? Probably getting mental reps, going over plays. Still padded up. I would have to assume if, you know, again, there was no recording allowed at these. So, you know, I would have to assume, you know, that if he still had his pads on, still taking mental reps, that it's probably not as bad. It's probably like an arm soreness thing where they just want to just keep it, you know, whatever. They do have another day of joint practice tomorrow too. And then of course they're going to go into a Saturday preseason game. So maybe that's just the thought process. Just take it smooth, take it clean. But again, if I have more updates, we'll probably go live actually tonight and speak about any updates, speak about everything in totality and go from there. But other than that, man, interesting situation. I'm really happy to see what Dylan Gabriel can do because if he looks good, I mean, there we go. And we got another situation where maybe the Browns got two nice quarterbacks and get the Kenny Pickett out of here. But y'all let me know how you feel about down below in the comments. You know, hope Shedeur feels better quickly and fastly. Oh wait, I forgot. I was talking about the Jalen Hurts thing. This is the one right here. They chatted it up and they rolled back to the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a little championship in 12 combination situation, right? I do want to point out Kenny Pickett's former team is the Philadelphia Eagles. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's something that's locked in there. Maybe he wants another backup. Even though 1-6, their backup, that boy nice. The Eagles backup quarterback, that boy nice. That boy nice. But hey, that's all we got for you today. Like the video, like it, dislike if you don't like it, subscribe if you like football content. Is Shedeur being done wrong? Let me know down below. Be great. See you next time.